Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Rocket League here on the SAGU Sports Network. I'm James Lex, joined by Zach Wilkie, our head coach of esports here at SAGU, and it's playoff season.
Oh, man, it is playoff season. Let me tell you, no sleep, all games. We're in this to win it.
Man, this week we had Super Smash Brothers on Monday come away with a win. Valorant last night came away with a win, and then a three-game, basically ninth-inning walk-off in Valorant. It ended at 12:30 or a.m. our time. And the team was on the East Coast, 1:30 a.m. end. And we're back tonight with Rocket League here. With our gold team, we have three teams here at the school, gold and purple in the playoffs, and gold had a pretty good season this year. Yeah,
gold probably shouldn't have made it into playoffs. If you're going to have the coach's expectation, I think I said it for 3 and 5. They went ahead, beat that, set it to 4 and 4. So some key players for gold. You guys are not familiar with them. We have Mactillion, which is Andrew Kern. We have Jeremiah Hector, which is Jay Heck. I think he's Jay Hector in Rocket League. And then we also have SAGU Sports Network's very own Zai Wood, One Wick. So really, we're going to be looking out for a very technical Mac. He's very good. Very good. Zai's going to be a little crazy. He'll pop off in a few games, and Jeremiah will be all over the place. So that's kind of what you guys got to expect from them. But, I'm excited to see what they can do. They've made it into the playoffs. I think they can make this first game count. And we don't know because the next one will be against the number 2 seed, and they were the lowest. So we'll see how that works. But for now, we're taking those wins as they come, and we're worried about just this game.
For the ECAC playoffs, you need 4 wins in the regular season of 8 weeks. If you get 4 wins, you go to the playoffs. 18 teams in their division advanced. SAGU Gold, and due to tiebreakers, ends up at number 18. And the way that works is if you win this game, you go to round 2, and you are blessed to have to face the number 2 seed in the division. So they've got their work cut out for them. But first up is Averett. They're from Virginia. They're the Cougars, and they've got a player named Blake Ellison. I believe that might actually be his player name. So he's going to be the one to keep a watch on for the Cougars. For SAGU, Mactillion, I would presume, be the one to really keep an eye on?
Yep, he is. He is the playmaker, the star. He is. When you think of someone who just knows, right, who's just that smart, it's him. He's that guy.
Yeah.
And competing so well at this level, I can't wait to see what he's doing next semester because he's definitely going to be bumping up to the next one. But for right now, he's got this team in lockdown. He's a good leader for it. He's got the team ready, and they're going into, actually, this first match.
And here we go. Game number 1 already underway here. Now, Rocket League, you have these cars that drive around on the field, and they work like the cars we drive. You know, you have gas, you have brakes, you can steer left and right. But what these cars have, and where the name of this game comes from, is rocket boost. They can use rockets to do this right here. They're flying in the air, and they can hit the ball and aim to get the ball in the other team's net. You have 5 minutes. Whoever scores the most goals wins, and if it's a tie, you just go to overtime, and the first goal wins, also called the golden goal.
Yep, and it looks like right now we're still off to a 0-0 start. One Wick trying to center out the ball to Zai. Zai not able to get there, or Jeremiah not able to get there, but Mac trying to set himself up for maybe a pass, and it just doesn't come off the wall quite well. So far, Averett not being able to control much of the ball in their zone. Looks like SAGU is just really putting the hurt on controlling space and boost and time. So we're going to see a little attack coming up right here from Averett.
Oh, close.
With city population, us.
Close one right there, but SAGU able to survive. SAGU is in the orange, and the Cougars of Averett are in blue. As right here, Jay Hector, he's going to bounce this off the wall and try to center this up, but a good clear by the Cougars. This is going to go against the wall. Below with a really critical save, and another good save by Oss. And here comes that guy, Meep.
What a name. What a shot.
Off the wall. That's not going to go in, but the follow-up is going in as the Cougars draw first blood here in Game 1.
Excellent job. So look at the pressure that they put on. 1 touch, 2 touch, both double commits right there, and then One Wick was just not in position to save. Even if he jumped over Bloke could have just jumped and stopped him. Excellent positioning by Averett for taking those shots.
Just like basketball, it's very smart to use the back wall, and they actually call it a backboard. And right there you saw the pass actually went off the backboard like an alley-oop and just set up his teammate to just punch it in. Here comes Hector across the middle. He's looking for someone, but no one for SAGU is down the middle.
Look at that aggressive demo, though, real quick. If you saw that, Hector set his pass up, but then also wanted to make space for his team. You got to pay attention to some of these little things that are going to be happening here that the SAGU Gold is going to be setting up.
Yeah, in this game, when you use your boost and you use all of it, you eventually go what's called supersonic, which is the fastest your car can go. And if you hit the other team, you take them out of off the field for a few seconds. And here's Juan Wick responding with the equalizer.
Excellent shot right here. Let's get those shades going. Nice little shot going right up, not hitting the ceiling. Assisted by Mac. Nobody is there. It is 1-1 Gold versus Averett.
And Juan Wick, Mac Tillian gets a lot of the attention. But Juan Wick, he comes through, and he just sneaks up on you. He just ends up at the right spot, just in front of the net, or he gets this little touch towards the goal, and this Gold team has been able to capitalize on that this year.
Yeah, absolutely. If you have space to take a shot and you can put it on frame, why not? You know, there's no reason to not do it. Averett looking like they're putting pressure on, trying to get a clear into the corner. See if they can set something up. Jay Hector there trying to clear the ball out. Excellent move, but Averett is starting to reposition for another attack. He gets a 50 win, and Mac Tillian trying to control the play, slow it down. Gets a good 50 win on his own. Probably Jay Hector flying up. Oh, Juan Wick getting an excellent clear out to the corner, getting space and time for Mac to get boost.
One of the great things about Rocket League is that unlike other car games, such as like a NASCAR, there's no pit lane. You just pick up more rocket boost on the field at those little yellow glowing spots. Oh, there's a latency and packet loss error right there. Hopefully that was just on our end and not the players. If that's on the players' end, they may have to, we'll see if this holds up. But as it stands right now, Jay Hector is going to get the second goal of this game.
I think that was a legit goal. Look at this. Oh, did he barely get a touch?
He barely.
All right, let's give the man some hype. Way to go, Hector! Okay, so that was a good shot.
That was an incredible shot that where we've seen this team just grow and get better all year with the creativity and how they're able to just create shots and make shots, and we're really seeing it here in round one of the playoffs here for the Lions.
Ooh, terrible positioning. You don't want to stop the ball right in front of your net like that. Mac finally able to get the ball and start clearing it out. That was a scary situation for Gold.
At the bottom right, you'll see that boost meter with how much boost you have. Players need boost to just keep moving around the field quickly. You can always drive around the field. Your gas tank's fine. It's that rocket boost tank that you want to keep full. And right there we saw Mac, he ran out. And so he's just trying to do anything as Jay Hector comes in here, and he's going to finish this play.
Doesn't look like he's running out of anything right here. Mac coming off the wall, looking for Hector. Hector already knowing where he's going, not overshooting. Excellent positioning. This is actually a really fun duo to watch play twos, by the way.
Yes, and you can tell there's some chemistry there that's coming out here in this game.
Absolutely.
Just Mac looking for him, using the backboard, and man, that is just how you draw it up if you're SAGU. 2-goal lead, toughest one to protect in the game. Coming up here on 40 seconds left.
Oh my goodness.
Juan Wick's going to put one on net, but that's going to be just wide. Here comes that guy, Meep. Mac with a huge block. And the Averett offense, they're still firing away.
Yeah, they're still trying to put something on here, but I think they're starting to overextend. It doesn't look like they're able to get full rotations. That's something you want to avoid. Oh, what a shot by Meep. Oh, saved by Juan Wick. Excellent job for him to get out there. Mac looking like he's trying to set something up to the middle. Oh, goes to the top corner.
And Juan Wick again just at the right place at the right time and really disrupted the play that was going on there for Averett, as that's going to be game number one. SAGU taking the win 1-0. We believe there's some of that lag there that you guys might have seen where it's jittering and jumping around. That was we believe just on our end. The players, it's nice and smooth for them, and smooth start for SAGU. 5 shots, they got outshot, but they punched 2 more in than Averett.
Yep. It's about taking shots, but also making sure that your shots are going to be on point. 2 goals by Jay Hector, 1 goal by Juan Wick, and 2 assists by Mac. I believe one was for Juan Wick and the other one was for Jay Hector. So excellent movement by them. I would like to see some more saves if we could. For Averett, I think it's coming down to a point of fact of, hey, do we want to make sure that we're actually going to be seeing something that's going to happen? And how can we as a unit, protect our net and make sure that we're setting up shots where their net isn't protected. The first goal they had, fantastic. Moved them out of position.
Yeah.
And they had a few other opportunities, just didn't have any capitalization. But
here we are heading into game number 2. What does SAGU need to do, if anything? Do they just keep that game plan as is?
No double commits in net. That's really the only thing I'm worried about. Other than that, I think they're set up to be successful for their match if they keep playing well. They're not missing a whole lot, and that's fantastic. So, just make sure you hit the ball, hit with power and good direction with purpose, and they should be good.
As we go into game number 2 here, SAGU getting the win 3-1 in the first game. There goes that guy Meep. He's gotten a couple of very good looks, and so far nothing to show for Averett.
Yeah, kind of looks like they're trying to set up, but no one knows what's being set up. Does that make sense? Like they're putting ball onto the back of the net, putting it on the backboard. They're trying to set it up into the corner, but nobody's there to follow up. So.
Right. Yeah, they're getting the ball. They're just pushing the ball. We're talking about the blue team here, Averett. They are pushing, but they're just not. They're more just getting one shot towards the net, and they're not because they're not following it up. It's just almost becoming a pass to SAGU, and there's just no momentum going on. Just strategically on offense.
Yeah, I think rather than shots or setups, it's looking more like turnovers. You got to make sure that your team is ready to go. So even if your guys don't have boost, figure out a way that you can stall. Take it up wall or take it up something for your guys to get in position. That sets you up for more success than you can realize. It looks like Jay Hector trying to set up Mac on the front. Oh, he passes it to himself. Nobody. Oh my goodness! A dunk by Mac, getting the rebound off of Averett. Look at this excellent pass. Jay Hector, nice little double touch. Mac reading the block.
Yeah, he played the 50 right there. 50-50, both players go for it. Someone wins. And right there, Mac Tillian comes away with the jackpot as SAGU's going to, once again, take an early lead in game number 2.
Yep. I think a lot of the times in sports, especially soccer, you want to think of like, hey, make sure you have that first touch opportunity. Well, if you can't be there, set yourself up for the best second touch possible. And make sure that you can control the play in whatever way possible. That was exactly what Mac did, and I think it was very fundamental to making sure that his team gets the lead and will stay in the lead and maybe grow it further on in this match.
Here comes Balak. He's just going to fire this across field. But again, like we talked about, they're getting these touches, but they're not landing near a teammate, and so they're just turning into they're just turning into touches. They're nothing that's producing fruit so far for the Cougars of Averett.
Right there, it looked like SAGU would have had a good chance to advance.
Oh.
Excellent save, hitting off the top. No points credited to that, but it looks like that it doesn't matter. I'll keep that one in my head. Averett trying to get something. Jay Hector in the air. Oh, man, looks like Juan Wick's going to solo attack. Trying to get some boost here. Averett slowing down, not having a good direction. Mac up on the wall, reading it, getting a double tap, looking for the pass. Nobody's there. Ball is cleared by Averett. Right now, Averett trying to defend the ball from getting hit on their half, but SAGU is unrelenting in their pressure. Jay Hector not able to get his shot. There might be some connection things, lag going on with that, but it's okay. He's going in for another one. Hits it on the top bar. Averett trying to get there, not able to get the hit. Mac jumping over. It's on the corner. It's not in. Excellent save by that guy, Meep. Juan Wick putting more pressure on. Oss trying to make sure he can clear the ball. No clearing momentum. Nobody's there. Excellent ball. Jay Hector with another shot. That might have been a goal steal, but we're not going to argue that. That's another point on the board.
Jay Hector and Mac Tillian clearly been playing some games together. You mentioned these games with twos, 2 players versus 2 players, a couple different modes in the game, but you're seeing all of that chemistry pay off here in game number 2 as SAGU coming away with a lead. And, they are in the... Mac Tillian almost...
Oh, my goodness.
Tucked that one in the bottom left pocket of the net, but... Unfortunately, it's just going to remain a 2-goal lead for the Lions. Now, coming in these playoffs, SAGU seeded 18th, Averett 15th, but so far SAGU looking like the better team here in the early going.
Yeah, and you also got to think, in the season, oh man, almost on Averett. Oh no, that's a bad turnover. It's just bad positioning.
Meep has made some very good touches, and then something unlucky happens, and unfortunately, sometimes it's just your night. Right here, Below goes to block it, but unfortunately leaves it right up in the middle, and Jay Hector knows exactly what to do with that. Bring fire and brimstone. And it's a 3-0 lead for the Lions. And Averett, they have got to find some momentum here.
Yeah, and we were going back to seeding, hey, not all these teams played each other. There's only 8 games in a season. So you have 18 teams in playoffs. Well, probably half those teams didn't play half of the people in the bracket. You don't really know who's there. It's kind of the best estimation. So Gold putting a name out for themselves saying, hey, we may be seeded last, but we've definitely got more fighting spirit than any other team in here. I think really that they want it more. They're going to be proving it with this set.
The seeding being 18th, you can kind of fool you because these Lions, they've just gotten better all year. Like the way they've played together. We've talked about Mac and Jay Hector. Not to leave Juan Wick out of it at all. He's made some good plays in the early going of this series. But that momentum, the strength of the team, that is starting to you can just get fooled by the 18th seed and not understand that this team is probably much higher, potentially to the single digits.
Yep, you have to think if someone's in playoffs, they're there for a reason. And this wasn't a reason of forfeits. This wasn't a reason of, hey, someone else just wasn't better. They are that good. They should be that good. Averett trying to put one in the net to make themselves feel a little better, but I don't know how much that's going to do. That's going to, relieve you, make sure you know that, hey, there's no invisible wall in the net. But Gold really is out here making statements saying, hey, these are convincing matches that we're winning. We're not just barely winning. We're winning by at least 2. And this will be the second game in a row they do that. And ball's going to touch the ground here.
Well, the good news for Averett, they are able to get another goal, so it's another 3-1 game. So they get a little bit of momentum here at the end of Game 2 to hopefully take into Game 3. But right now, Beloke, he has just been frustrated by the SAGU, both offense and defense. But Mac Tillian, 6 shots on goal.
Yeah, 6 shots, 2 shots by Jay Hector, both of those being goals. Both of those being excellent passes from Mac Tillian. Mac Tillian and Jay Hector playing side by side the entire time. Juan Wick just holding up the ground, making sure he clears up any empty space and is filling in that right position.
Now, man, we've seen some really good plays so far. If you had to give an MVP to someone in the first 2 games here, who would you pick? Be Mac or Jay Hector, I'm sure.
It's got to be Mac Tillian. Mac Tillian's setting up for everyone. He's putting the ball in a good position. So if his teammate is there to set up a pass for a shot, he's setting it up first. He's being the guy that's initiating, hey, you go here, I'll go here. You're going to do something with the ball because I've put you in that spot to do it. And he trusts his teammates to do it. So it's trust and execution, and I think it's overall a good team dynamic, but it's got to still be Mac Tillian. And besides, Jay Hector missed a shot way wide, and it was just a little – I got to roast him for that. So,
well, this is a best-of-7 series, and I'm seeing players disconnect and freeze, so I think we're going to have some –
I think we're changing a server.
I think we are going to change servers here as the ball's going to just float across the field. Man, that's very unfortunate. Now let's go to a little bit of some of the game mechanics. So,
okay.
You've seen these 2 games. If you've never seen Rocket League before, you're probably questioning a few very odd things. Perhaps the fact that you hear this explosion sound. Tell us what's happening there, and if that actually harms the cars through the rest of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. So that explosion sound, you guys saw it in Game 1. The explosion sound is just that demolition. So if a car is going supersonic, it has a little trail on the back of it. That means it's going top speed. The maximum speed you can go in the game, right? And so if you impact another car at that, wherever direction you're hitting it at, it has enough momentum to damage and explode that car on impact. Well, then there's a few seconds that the car has to wait, respawns, car's fine. Okay, there's no health bar on that. There's no hey, it's not like NASCAR 2005 where you'd have your bumper hanging off and smiling at you as you're driving around. Your car stays fine if you just get bumped normally. It's just if you get hit supersonic. So that's a demolition. That's one of those things, and that actually can play out into a very strategic move of, hey, we see it at this level a lot. They have one guy in net. Okay, well, if their goalie is gone, why not take the shot? If we can put it on frame, nobody else is there to save. So if you take out the goalie, you take out that extra person, it's a good idea to clear up space and set you guys up for an advantage for 1 or 2 strikes.
Yeah, it kind of works like football, I guess, with blockers, where you're going ahead and you're going to clear the way for someone to run behind you. It's just crazy you could do that with soccer, because in traditional soccer, it's not really a thing you do, at least throwing people down. Whereas here, you could actually take them out of the game for 2-3 seconds and leave the net wide open.
I was that guy in traditional soccer. So to me,
you were just elbowing kids down.
I never got carded. All right. I did, in fact, I vertically moved a person about 15 feet out of bounds, and I definitely should have been carded. Like, he was airborne, landed, bounced, skipped, and the ref looked at me and just looked and was like, why? And that was it. And then they got a throw in for it.
I want to give a shout out to Esteban watching on Twitch. Hey, well, thanks for watching here. We still have viewers. We got a little technical delay right here as we get the lobby kind of reset. This team is from Virginia, and it's quite a ways away from Texas where we're at. So, sometimes if you just exit, rejoin the lobby, it'll give you a different server, and you will have fewer issues. We saw some on our end, at least, in the first game pretty bad, but it seemed like the players were still able to compete. I don't think the lag issues affected those games, as far as I could tell. I mean, it seemed like there was clearly an advantage towards one team. BKR joining the chat. What's up, BKR?
We love BKR. Can I go back to Esteban?
Yeah.
You guys may not have seen it. Esteban, well, actually BKR, these are both MVPs for SAGU Esports. Esteban was the MVP for Call of Duty.
Oh.
So that's Esteban, the skipper. That's who it is. So if you guys are watching the Call of Duty streams, he's right there.
SAGU Esports always supporting each other, man. Always watching each other's games.
Playoff
season.
Someone's got to be that guy. Someone's got to be that guy.
Playoffs? All right, speaking of playoffs, let's get back to game number 3. I'm just going to say game number 1 on the score count, but this should be game number 3 as far as we know. If there is a change, we'll let you guys know. But for now, SAGU up 2-0 in this series.
Let's talk about the change that Averett could have had. So setting up for another lobby, you have one guy probably handling most of the work, right? You have 2 other guys that are now refocused, recharged, and like, hey, we got a breather. Let's rethink our game plan while we're sitting out for resurfacing this match. So might see a little bit more of a coordinated attack from Averett. Hopefully he took the opportunity to do that. One Wick going up for a shot, misses. Mac trying to dunk it. Below getting an excellent save, setting his teammate up for a nice, Jay Hector there to take it away.
Now, in Rocket League, you'll see different shapes of cars, and for the most part, that has no effect on the game other than the cars. They are shaped a little differently, but for the most part, the weight, the cosmetics, the color, the tires, none of that is going to be different between the vehicles. They don't lose any kind of steam. They don't fall apart, thankfully, like you mentioned. It's not like a car at the end of a NASCAR race barely getting across the line. They are just as strong now as they were back in game 1, and it's all about being in the right place at the right time. That is the game of Rocket League. Mac Tilligan barely gets a touch there. That barely disrupts the attack, and that's going to keep this a scoreless game so far.
One Wick having to make a play, doesn't get the touch on it. It's going up for another one, gets a good bump. That sets Mactillion up to center the ball. Looking for Jay Hector in the middle. Gets an excellent touch. Let's see if they can get one more. Oh, that guy Weep actually able to set it up into the corner, slow down the play. Doesn't get a follow-up on it, though. Jay Hector still putting pressure on. And it looks like Everett is able to start clearing this ball and centering things back over.
Now right here, Hector, he's going to play this off the wall. That's a tough angle there on the corners. The corners, they aren't really corners. They kind of 45-degree the 4 corners of this arena, and it is so difficult to read the ball off of them. And AUS is going to kind of, again, make a pass to the middle. No one's there. And that guy Beat makes a pass to the middle. No one's there.
Yep.
AUS pass to the middle. No one's there.
Yep. I think a lot of these are just challenges. Like, hey, let's try to win the 1v1, but they're not thinking ahead of, hey, let's make it a 2v1. How can we make that opportunity happen? And again, that's what changes the mindset from being in the Champ Plus divisions that we saw with Rocket League Lions and the Diamond Below divisions that we see with Gold, and tomorrow we'll see with Purple. Mactillion able to try to make something push.
Mactillion's going to try to push this. He's unfortunately didn't have the right positioning, but all good here as Jay Hector. He's going to try to play this off the wall. Juan Wick's going to miss, but SAGU just it does a very good job of rotating tonight, backing each other
man.
up. Right there, though, that guy he's going, finally, I'm going to get a goal.
Talking about a great job of rotating. It did not happen here. Mac didn't get the touch he wanted and kind of just recentered it over for Averett. That's the main reason that scored. Jay Hector couldn't have done much about it. So 1-0 for Averett. They finally get the lead in the match. And
this is the first time Averett's had a lead in any game of this series. So
is it? They got the first goal in last one. In game 1. It's the second time.
Well, then second time. Still was a 3-1 win for SAGU in both of the first 2 games. So we still have a minute 45 left here in game 3 for SAGU to get something going. But so far, it's been all Averett on offense.
Yeah, I think SAGU's getting a little disrupted.
And that's going to be a good shot right on there. And that guy, Meep, he's heating up, Zach.
Yep, it's disruption right here. You see that Mactillion was out of position. So he got out of position from the play before. Him and Jay Hector went for the ball at the same time. You got to communicate, hey, I'm going to go. Well, if you're going to go, then go. Let that person go. You wait your turn and make sure you're coordinated on this. But I think SAGU is going to start making a good offense of pressure here. That's an excellent touch.
Excellent.
Oh,
my best touch he's made all night. But Mactillion able to keep this one 2-0. SAGU, they really need to, ideally, they'd like to get a goal here before the 1 minute mark, just to give themselves 60 seconds to find the second one. You don't really want to get down to, 40, 30 seconds and you're having to find 2 goals.
There it is.
And there's one right there. Jay Hector capitalizes on a great pass right here.
Look at the sacrificial play. Gets the touch, gets demoed, but Jay Hector's like, hey, I got you. I see it.
Jay Hector's already moving very quickly down the middle of the field, expecting some kind of a little dump pass over, and he's right place, right time.
Oh, what is that turnaround?
It's bad news for SAGU. The kickoff goal is definitely in favor of the Cougars. Here goes one towards net, but it's wide. Good. So far, so good for the Lions, but still not out of the woods yet. This is going to clear to the right. Jay Hector's going to get the boost, go down the middle, puts a little too much on it, and it's going to get punted away by the Cougars.
It's a good idea to try to read the redirect, but you weren't going to be able to be there on that. He's got to make sure he's setting himself up to actually do that.
This is a game of 3D pool with 6 people driving around on the pool table. It is very difficult to read the ball bouncing off the walls, off the corners, and one misread is all SAGU's looking for right now. They have to capitalize on it. They're down to 20 seconds left to do it. They're keeping the ball in a good position. I mean, they're offensively in a good spot, but right now they're running out of clock. They're going to need a good touch here from Jay Hector. He gets it on net, but no one's there to follow.
This is going to be their last push right here. Jay Hector's going to have to take it up the wall and pass it, but...
Last chance. Juan Wick's going to poke it up. Can Mactillion get up there?
I don't think he has
that guy
boost.
Meek's going to get a touch. You got to keep it off the ground. As long as it's in the air, we keep going. But no, it's going to be Averett coming away with the Game 3 win.
You ready for the analysis?
Let's do it.
Gold missed the ball more than Averett missed the ball. Averett hit the ball more than Gold hit the ball. The shots are they are equal. Saves, not so much. Averett was able to have more of a defense. But, I mean, in reality, SAGU had a lot of opportunities to clear that they just didn't, or they mishit. And it's like, well, hey, make sure that you're setting yourself up for, I say it multiple times, it's just, we can't just think of it as what's your action. Every action is going to have a reaction, so set yourself up for the good reaction. That's the best way we can put it.
Now here we are at Game 3. We did confirm those first 2 games are official. They're on the books. That was game number 3. Averett coming away with the first win. They're only down 1 game now. I mean, it felt like a lot of momentum and by way of SAGU, but only a 2-1 lead for the Lions. Now, Jonesy has joined the chat. Jonesy, a former player here for SAGU Esports. Welcome aboard the broadcast here.
That is the big K.
Yes.
7'2" Keaton Lindbergh.
He is one of the best players to come through SAGU Esports, so we're glad to have him here as we get started. Game number 4. And again, it'll say game number 2 on there, but that was because we had to restart the lobby. This is game 4. SAGU up 2-1, best of 7, and that's it. After 7, here comes Jay Hector. He's going to, bounces that one off the backboard to save it, and a little bit of a shaky start for the Lions.
Yeah, still not a lot of people know what's going on. Mactillion trying to get something, and Everett's confused. Oh my goodness.
AUS just slowly brought the ball across his own net. Hopefully he did the math on it.
He's about to set his team up for
a wide open
too.
net too. Very, very shaky play at best for both teams. I'm starting to wonder if the nerves are kicking in here as they're starting to realize these are the playoffs, single elimination, win or go home.
Yeah, nerves are kicking in for me right now watching this. It's a little it's a little scary as the coach, but it looks like they're at least making the last second plays. I'd hope they make the second plays, not the last one, but I mean, here we are, we're doing something. Mac trying to make an advance, loses the 50. AUS is going to be able to set his team up. Oh, he doesn't get the touch.
Here comes Wanwick. He's been cleaning up a lot so far in the early going of game number 4. Shot off the backboard. That Meep in a bad spot, but able to cause just enough disruption because I believe I saw it was Jay Hector sitting in the middle ready to cash in on another pass.
Oh, what a touch.
A great touch pass here by Wick, but Meep's going to clear it. Mactillion quickly down, bottom right corner, and SAGU gets the first goal in game number 4.
Excellent setup by Jay Hector here, or really it was Juan Wick. This is all team play. They all set each other up to have something happen. So the touchdown, and then Jay Hector making sure he gets a 50 so that Mac can react to it. Excellent play.
BKR celebrating in the chat as he's rooting for SAGU to go up 3-1. That's exactly where SAGU wants to be. You do not want this series to get evened up 2 apiece, and you know Averett knows it, and they're going to be going. Here comes Mac off the wall. He's low on boost. He's going to put it on the net, but he would have liked to have just a little more boost right there. Here comes AUS off the sidewall. Kind of misplays it a little bit. Wanwick there to kind of just disrupt the play. Here comes Mactillion.
It's one of the scary
right side.
Mids,
is that an empty net? I don't know if he's going to get that in. He does. Bottom left corner. Mactillion cashes in. It's a 2-0 game.
My man went to cash his check, and they said, here's $100 on your paycheck. Go ahead, take 200, pass go, and start moving on to your next round.
Banks are open late in Texas as SAGU 2-0 lead. It's the toughest score to protect. Anyone who plays soccer or even car soccer is a bad touch there by Mactillion. Almost owned gold, but Wanwick diligently there. He has made a lot of very I don't even know clutch touches that are very non-standard, but they have worked, and they ultimately has kept this a 0 game. Mactillion, he gets another goal. It's 3-0 Lions.
You're gonna have to take off your hat, man. That's 3.
That was his 3rd this game.
Yes, sir. That's a hat trick.
That is a hat trick for Mactillion as he's warmed up now.
Yep.
We are trending again. I mean, first 2 games, 3 goals. We have 3, and we're not even halfway through game 4. Best of 7. You got to win 4. And SAGU, they're on their way to win number 3 here. As so far, the offense of SAGU, absolutely no answers by the Cougars. Wanwick down the middle.
Looks like another one.
Net, but it was a little bit too slow. He had a moment. It would have been a tough one. But opportunities galore for the Lions. Take advantage of them while you can.
What in the world? Look at the read. He just sat there. What an excellent big brain, like 300 IQ thing to slow down that play and set his team up for advantage. He was able to get boost after that, set himself up for an air dribble, maybe a rebound.
We've talked about these players getting better this season. That is what we're talking about right there. It's not just that they're making goals. They're just pausing. They do something that they haven't done all year, but they're in the exact right spot, and that's why they're up 3-0 right now. Just little details. As this one's going to go up, and right there is that is Mactillion. Give him 4 in game number 4.
You know, when he went to cash his check, you know who the signer was for that?
Oh,
it was himself.
Oh,
he signed his own check. Look at that. Sent it to the bank, got his return, set another investment down. Mactillion, 4 goals unanswered.
BKR says, Matt, go crazy. He is this game. He has stepped up. And he puts another one on net. That was barely off. Wanwick was coming in there ready to hopefully get his first goal of this game. Because Mactillion, he just decided he's going to score all of them this game for the Lions.
Oh, that ball goes over. That might be a goal for Averett.
AUS tucks one in. It's a 4-1 game. Plenty of time here for the Cougars to make the comeback. You cannot rule them out. Excellent. Just a light touch to put that in the corner. And AVU, they have scored every game this series.
Yep, they haven't been shut out. That's kind of something you want to be proud of, and it means that you can contend. Doesn't matter if it's lucky, doesn't matter if it's last second. You're able to put the ball in the net. You still have that ability, so don't doubt that. Just start, executing that a little bit more often.
And now we're starting to see this offense for the Cougars. I think they might be finding something. They get the long clear here. This is what SAGU wants. They want to drain the clock, so look for SAGU to make a lot of just deep passes to the other end of the field, and just kind of like in basketball where you hold the ball a little longer. That's going to be just wide. Oh,
Wanwick with the shot.
We said earlier he wants to get in on the scoring. Finally gets the chance as the sunglasses drop down onto the banner, and SAGU is up 5-1 and likely have game number 4 sealed up. It's not over till it's over, but if you're SAGU, you like the position you're in right now.
Yeah, I think I'd be okay sitting at 46 seconds up by 4. Statistically, that makes a good mathematical problem of, 11 seconds per goal. If you get past one of those, you're going to be fine. 11 seconds passed, and SAGU still looking like they're putting offensive pressure on Wanwick, getting the touches of his career, setting up his team for a pass.
The backboard, and Maxtillian almost had a 5th, but Wanwick gets a 2nd one. How about Wanwick here in game number 4?
Okay, so Mac, wrote his own check, took it to the bank. He's also a postmaster now. So we now know his full occupation, job, history, everything. He's there. Wanwick now stepping in to take over the role as captain for this team.
SAGU exploding here in game number 4 with 6 goals, matching the total from games 1 and 2 combined. They are rolling. No lead is safe in Rocket League. It's just a game, so it'll be 3 games to 1. But so far,
he's going to have one more.
He's going to run out of boost, but if he had some boost there, he likely scores the 7th goal for the Lions. But as it stands, the clock's going to run out. As soon as the ball touches the ground, we're going to end this one and head on to game number 5.
I think they wanted Brazil.
I think they.
Man,
Brazil.
Yeah, look at them. Look at them. They wanted it. They wanted that.
Look at their cams at the top left. Yeah, Brazil. So there's a soccer game. Final score was 7-1. It's now a thing in certainly esports. You wanna see a 7-1 game. But SAGU,
9 shots. 9 shots.
Maxtillian has gotten so much better. We've said it over and over again. That's the proof right there. 4 goals, 9 shots. The ratio is incredible.
Not only the most shots in the lobby, he has more shots than everyone else combined in the lobby.
Unstoppable right now. Unstoppable right now. Wow.
Yeah.
SAGU, you just don't want to touch it. Like it's like the machine is the car is perfectly attuned. It's drifting in all the corners just the right way.
You ready? You ready for the secret ingredient?
What is that?
So I'm obviously here casting.
Yes.
Right. Who's usually playing when we have Rocket League?
Rocket League.
Yeah. Okay. You're not wrong. It's Lions. Okay, that's the answer we're looking for. Crazy Kyle is the coach today. He's the one behind him. He's the one talking to him.
On one of our other Rocket League teams. He's up there, I guess, over their shoulder.
Should be, yes.
Telling them, just coaching them through the I guess, their strategy, right?
Yes. He actually might be playing Overwatch or coaching. So either way, he's there in spirit. I think it's the crazy factor that we have pushing into it because we haven't seen any Wilkie specials. We've only seen one person hit post.
Yeah,
that's kind of special.
That's
pretty rare.
That's been very rare
that's
this
really
season
rare
for this gold team. They have we keep talking about the improvement. They were getting shots on goal. They're going off the crossbar, and they don't go in. But what happens is it puts your team in such a bad spot. It puts the other team in perfect position to counterattack. And SAGU was going from, for instance, being up 1-0. They almost scored. Well, now it's 1-1 instead of being up 2-0. This game, they went up 2-0 and 3-0 and 4-0. They weren't going off the edges, and they were just precise. And so far, so good.
Yep. It's very good. I'm very excited about it. I hope you guys in chat are excited about it too. Thank you again for watching the stream so far. We still have at least one more game.
Syntix just hopped in the chat. Syntix, another player here.
Oh man,
that's SAGU
the other
Esports.
7-foot giant.
Yeah, if you're watching, go ahead and hop in the chat. We'd love to chat a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about the playoffs. So SAGU, they are the 18th seed. This is round number 1. If they win this game, which so far they're up 3-1, they're in good position. If they win, they've got to play the number 2 team in the division, Kodiaks, and that'll be in just an hour or two. It'll be very quickly after this game. what are they going to have to do to kind of go from this up to go? They got to play the number 2 seed. This is difficult.
It's like growing a playoff beard. Okay, you start off and you get the basics of your facial hair, and it just gets longer and longer. Gold is at this point where they're playing really good.
Mm-hmm.
They cannot let that be the best. They have to dig for more. They're going to have to reach for more. It's going to be at a later time. They're going to have to find more energy. They're going to have to find more willpower, and they're going to have to find the ball, and the ball's going to have to find the net. That's it. They're going to have to make sure that no matter what, they are steadily and consistently growing, like that playoff beard. It can't just be one thing where it's like, oh, we did it for fun. Yeah, that was it. And then you shave the next day.
But how do you grow when you get 4 goals on 9 shots? That's pretty good. Like if you're a pro player, if you get 4 goals on 9 shots, you are ecstatic. That's going to be tough.
You just have to make sure that every shot counts.
Every all 9 of those shots are make them have to.
Everyone sets it up for something that's purposeful. If you're not going to make it, make your shot to where they have to save it in a weird way to where you guys can follow up on it again and again and again.
In game number 4, tell me what you saw out of Juan Wick. Just getting again. He's the disruptor. He comes in, flies in, and they go, "Wait, where did he come from?" And all of a sudden, you're out of position.
He saved like 3 shots that probably should have been in, and I can't really tell you where it came from on all of them. He kind of just appeared and he was like, "Hey, I touched the ball. It's not in the net." And I was like, "What's going on here?" Juan Wick, I think, is doing a very excellent job of just not missing for game 4. Really, the reason they lost in game 3 is because he was missing, and they were out of position. Nobody knew what they were doing. He's focused in on like, hey, I know my role, third man. I got it. If you guys need me to push up, you let me know. I'll make a touch. We'll try to make something happen. But if I'm going to be goalie, I'm going to be goalie. And if it's going to be weird, I'm going to make it more weird. And it's kind of the funny thing in Rocket League is it has this flow. If you have that disruptor person and the one that does it, our varsity, our Lions team will say that they're confused when something happens. One way can make everyone confused. And if everyone's confused, well, hey, we initiated the confusion. We know what we can do. We're the first ones to recognize that it happens. All the other team is kind of like, what just happened? And they're still recovering from it. So that disruptor move of like, hey, I'm being weird, but we can work with weird is very key to Gold and how they're playing right now. And I think it honestly probably set up Mac for a lot of good things.
We'll talk about Jay Hector in just a second. First, we are in a brief technical delay, we believe. I've had some server issues tonight. The team we're playing is on the East Coast. And just, again, a couple of tech issues. Hopefully we'll get that sorted out quickly here as you are watching the opening round of the playoffs for Rocket League in the ECAC. Several hundred teams participating across all the different divisions of Rocket League. SAGU seated 18th. They're playing number 15 and so far up 3 games to 1. You can see it at the top left corner of the screen. And again, so far so good. Mactillion really shining in game number 4. Juan Wick stepping up. Let's talk about Jay Hector. He's had a pretty good series as well.
Jay Hector. So I was in a COD scrim Monday. You ready for story time? This is story time with Wilkie. I was in a COD scrim, and I'm sitting there, and we have some of our teammates are in the arena. I had to play from home just to make sure there's room for our guys, and I'm sitting there, and I hear, "I am him! I am him!" And I was like, what is going on with this guy? It was Jay Hector. He's been popping off. He's been hitting that peak of like he's accelerating very high, very quick, very fast. So he's hitting his growth spurt for skill. I think Jay Hector is also setting a lot of good things in perspective for the Gold team so that they can actually compete.
Now, anyone, if you've participated in sports, at any sport, baseball, football, you know that in sports, the best teams actually don't always win. In fact, it's kind of rare that the best team wins. The best team on paper wins. It's usually the team that plays the best, that mentally they're engaged, they're in the game, and so far that is proving the case here for the Lions. As we are getting started here in game number 5, this will be the decider. So far, it's match point for SAGU. They are in good position, up 3 games to 1 in the best of 7, and we're going to be looking for Mactillion to step up and close this one out.
And I do think along with that reboot of the server, there was also a timeout held by Averett. So some of the things you might be discussing are, hey, this team's being aggressive, they're being pretty fast, they're being accurate. We need to make sure that we hit shots and that we're hitting the ball and that we're getting meaningful clears. Like, look at this. Good clear to get it out, but it was 2 SAGU players who just didn't put it on frame. You want AUS to try to make sure the ball can get past and that Mactillion can't do anything with it. So Averett just trying to find a way to, make plays matter.
Beloke's going to give a really bad pass there. That's going to work out great for the Lions. Juan Wick's going to go off the backboard, but
oh man, that almost was nice.
He'd like to have that one back. Here comes Mac. He's going to go top right corner, but Beloke with the save. Jay Hector keeping it there. It's in the front of the net if anyone's there to follow, and SAGU, they decided to rotate back, get some boost.
That's such a good clear for Averett because they were out of boost. All of them were at 0. Nobody had any momentum to where they could clear the ball and make something work with it. Jay Hector right now taking the ball up on his own, trying to run through everyone, gets everyone bumped. Juan Wick's
going to miss the touch there. That's going to be good for that guy Meep, but who else? Mactillion going to keep this a no-score game. Early going, what have you seen so far out of these teams?
So far, it's kind of just going back and forth. SAGU's put a few shots on frame that are pretty significant, but they're just not getting the follow-ups. Like right there, Jay Hector probably could have double-touched, just didn't get it. Could be nerves, could be he was in a bad position, it was awkward for him. But you want to see, pay bigger touches like Mactillion's clear earlier. It was assisted by Hector, Jay Heck, and it wouldn't have worked without it. They would have been a goal. So each team is really playing to each other's weaknesses well, and that's a good thing, but you want everyone to start playing their strengths.
Oh, it was right there. AUS, he had the ball just floating. He just needed to punch it in. Beloke's going to go off the top of the backboard. Jay Hector, awkward position. Ooh, that was truly a 50-50 right there. AUS, that one's going in front, but an alert play, as right now it's just a dogfight in front of the SAGU goal. Juan Wick out of boost.
Out of boost, but he made a car change. He's no longer playing the Fennec. He's playing the Octane right now.
Both the Octane and the Fennec, as Wookie's pointed out, they are two different vehicles, but the actual hitbox, as far as where the car hits the ball, is exactly the same. But players will tell you, they feel different. They are the same weight, they are the same hitbox, but they look, I don't know. Some players like to change it up. I'm surprised he did because he had played great in Game 4.
Yeah.
Figured he'd stay with that car, but
I don't know. If I'm third man, I'd be playing the Fennec. It's a boxy box. Does that make sense? It's got some good corners, got some sharp edges, and you can make some good hits happen with it. Octane's kind of more like, hey, let's make sure that we're precise with these things. And
that one almost pinched in. Mactillion coming across here. Mactillion, he's playing with the Octane Beloke that you see right now on screen. He's in the Fennec, as you can see that boxy box. It's
good chip.
Mactillion almost, but Beloke sat back. He's waiting. They're playing very cautiously over there, and those Cougars of Averett. Mactillion kind of punts this upfield.
Seeing what he can do. Misses, but he gets a bump. This sets up someone else. Nobody is there. Juan Wick being the last man gets a clear.
Had to get that touch, and he got it. Jay Hector, he gets a touch. It's floating. Mactillion goes for it, but not able to be there. AUS going to bounce it off the wall. It's actually going to set up good for SAGU. Jay Hector dunks it in the bottom right corner. It's 1-0, and SAGU is on the brink of advancing.
Unfortunate hit right here from Averett. AUS just going in reverse and messing up all the momentum. Beloke not able to figure out how he's going to save this shot. Just got stuffed into the corner.
This is the deepest we've gone in a game with only one goal scored. Anything can happen, but right now Averett has to find a goal. They cannot surrender anymore. We're under six. We see some latency. Hopefully that's just on us and not them, but I don't know. Looks like they're playing on, so here we go. He got it. It's the bottom left, but not there. AUS gets blocked by Jay Hector, as that's the play of the game so far.
Jay Hector turning out to be maybe a man myth, the legend, the guy. Excellent save by him. Mactillion setting himself up for something, trying to set maybe a teammate
Faked out Beloke right there. Beloke came flying in.
Nobody in the defense. What's going on?
No one's there. Juan Wick comes in to.
That's an easy goal. Where's the other team?
Right here. I don't think anyone was on the defensive side of the field. I think they just did a full send to just go for the score. And Mactillion can't believe he has the time to make that pass all the way around the corner to Juan Wick.
Yeah.
Here we go.
I don't even know. Where was Averett? Why aren't you protecting your net? Were you guys getting bumped or what's going on here? That's questions I would be asking as the coach. Obviously, they could probably see the perspective, but
at any rate, it's 2-0. Averett has to score quickly as we see latency. That's not good. But play on again. This could just be on our computer that we're watching here. The players again, hopefully fine.
And this looks like a set
clock
win.
is gonna go to 0, and that is going to be it for the Lions. They have secured a round one, or for gold.
It's okay.
They have secured a round one victory here against Averett, and in a bit of an upset. Number 18 taking down number 15, and they will advance and play here shortly.
Yeah, that's
unbelievable.
It's kind of crazy. They did they did really well.
They came to play in the playoffs.
They did. They came to show up, and excellent job to Averett for putting your guys' best effort out there. Yeah. I think Gold just was able to capitalize on more mistakes and was consistently hitting the ball. Wick played fantastic. Very consistent in touching the ball and making sure that he could have it when it counted. There's a few other times where like they could have pressed advantage or Mactillion was back already, and so Wick would go up. But really, when it needed to happen, it happened. And that's kind of the bottom line. That's a good foundation, but we want to start building up from that.
And SAGU, they'll be playing in very shortly here, in just a few minutes, really. We'll be back here on SAGU Esports Twitch. But before we do, we need to bring up something very important. This last game was the only game that one team was shut out. SAGU finally got the shutout, and 2-0. That defense stepping up for the Lions.
Yes, that was the only shutout. Sorry, I thought you were talking about the series.
Oh,
I was like, we saw them win.
No. no, shutout as far as goals.
Yeah, no,
and
Averett played really good too. That's the crazy thing.
They played very well.
That was probably their best game, but it didn't count. They couldn't capitalize on how well of a defense they had. They had one without the other. In Common Core math, that might still equal 2, but here 1 plus 0 is still 1. So you want to make sure that it's going to actually make sense. So they played very well defensively. Kept SAGU back, kept the gold team from pressing in, but I mean, their defense was gone in one goal.
Yeah.
And the second goal was Jay Hector, who just forced it in. That was one you probably couldn't have avoided, but the other one, you got to figure out what happened there.
Now, Wick had some really great saves, and got a little go Wick in the chat from Rob Ace. So Wick, your fan base is showing up now in the chat.
All one of them.
All right, so we're gonna one now, but I'm sure the chat's about to fill up.
Why do you think it's called One Wick?
Yeah, right. Well, anyway, hey, we got number 2 Kodiaks coming up. Very strong team. SAGU's gonna have the work cut out for them. Brief thoughts before we end this broadcast and get ready to do that one.
You ready for the real question? Staying up till 12:30 again?
Hey, if you weren't here at the beginning of the broadcast, playoff season last night, Valorant going past midnight in their playoff game. They unfortunately did not come away with the win. It was exhausting, and this could happen for for tonight. This against or for SAGU Gold, they might have to play late.
It's like 16 12-minute overtimes.
It's these playoffs are they just wear you down so much mentally. In a game like Rocket League, so mental. Like, you have to be strong because all the momentum right now for the Lions. I'm curious how Kodiaks, they did not play a game right now. Their first game will be us, and we are coming in with, again, mentally all the positive momentum and everything just kind of clicking for the Lions.
Two perspectives. Number one, Gold is coming in with the momentum of a win. Okay, they're like, hey, we played really good. Let's continue to play that. Great. On the other hand, they are much more tired than Kodiaks.
That's true.
They just played 5 games.
Yeah.
And usually they play 5
games.
games.
Deal with some disconnects, some technical issues. That wears down too.
They played 5 games. Usually just get to call it a night after that. They got another round. You got to prepare yourself for the grind. And I'm not saying, like, go drink 3 energy drinks and see if you're ready. You've got to be here.
Yeah. So hopefully,
clear, thoughtful.
So right now they're probably playing just an online game or something, just trying to stay warm as they got to get ready to play the biggest game of their careers here on the SAGU Sports Network. Again, we're going to wrap this broadcast up. We're going to be back very soon with that game against Kodiaks. So go ahead. In order to get news updates, you need to be following SAGU Esports on Twitter. You need to be connected on Discord. Discord is where everything happens.
Yep. You
got to join Discord. You get the link from Twitter, Instagram, obviously, and YouTube. Wherever you are, so is SAGU Esports. And we've got a great game coming up here in just a few minutes. So go ahead.
We're like Santa Claus. We'll bring you some good gifts, but if you're not going to show up, you might just get coal.
Well...
You said wherever they are.
Hey, I'm gonna go get. We'll go get our plate of cookies, and we'll be back here in just a few minutes. Don't go anywhere. Kodiak's SAGU Gold coming up here on the SAGU Sports Network.